Okay, next is the proclamation recognizing Interfaith Week. Mayor Kriseman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of Council, whereas our nation was founded on the principles of religious diversity and freedom, and Florida continues to uphold this tradition of religious tolerance. And whereas the interfaith efforts of various churches and faith groups have a rich history in the Sunshine State, and diverse beliefs have played an important role in the development of our communities. And whereas interfaith communities, coalitions, dialogues, and activities are rapidly growing locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. And whereas Interfaith Week celebrates our religious and cultural differences and acknowledges the ways in which this diversity enriches our society through compassionate listening and mutual understanding. And whereas our city prides itself on being one of the most multicultural cities in the world, St. Petersburg accepts and respects all religions, faiths, and beliefs that make up our diverse community. And whereas Interfaith Week hopes to be an annual event that promotes a message of compassion and pluralism that holds up our city as an example of a community based on mutual respect, cooperation, and collaboration. Now, therefore, I, Rick Kriseman, Mayor of the City of St. Petersburg, do hereby proclaim the week of July 13th to the 20th as Interfaith Week in St. Petersburg, and encourage all Bay Area residents to recognize the importance of respect, dialogue, and religious literacy in safeguarding the American values of freedom and democracy. Thank you.
Now that I've completely manhandled the proclamation. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the mayor's aide, Kevin King. Is Kevin here?
He is.
He's around.
In his
he was a great help in helping us put this together. And thank you to Mayor Rick Kriseman, who I saw on the line at Best Buy waiting for the Geek Squad and said, hey, you know that Facebook message I sent you? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. So this is really an honor, especially being here today with all the organizations who are honored for doing such innovative and creative and important civic and economic work for the city. It's an honor to be alongside them today. So thank you very much to all of them as well. And I want to thank Governor Phil Bredesen from Tennessee, who in 2003 proclaimed Other Religions Week, which encouraged people to visit other faith and spiritual communities and see how other individuals and families worship and pray and meditate and celebrate the sacred. And that really is what inspired this concept here in St. Petersburg. So thanks to Governor Bredesen.
Thank you.
And all the spiritual communities, most importantly, who are participating in Interfaith Week this week, who are opening up their facilities, their campuses, their churches, their temples, their mosques, their synagogues, their meditation centers to host events that are part of the week, and or have offered staff or representatives from those communities to participate in panels, which is really the keystone of the concept, is to participate in interfaith dialogue during this week. The idea is to talk among the spiritual communities and open up that dialogue. And like Mayor Kriseman said, the idea is to have this happen every year. Just like it is in Louisville, there's Festival of Faiths, which is a huge street festival, and dance performances and interfaith prayers that bookend the ceremony, and huge corporate sponsors for that event. We'd love to be able to grow it to that kind of level, and hopefully one day have that kind of economic impact as well in St. Pete. But for now, the spiritual communities who are just getting in the room together, who normally wouldn't be, that's just evidence of the work enough this week, and it's a really beautiful thing to see. So thank you to all of them and to all of you.
Councilmember Nurse and Mayor.
I just want to make the point that in the history of the world, religion has been the intolerance of other people's religion has been the source of more wars than anything else. And part of what our country is founded on is just the opposite of that. And if we could find ways to talk about that and spread that, it hardly, you could pick any corner of the world, always the Middle East is high on the list of places that intolerance over religious differences, ends up in war. And 15 years ago, most of us didn't know the difference between a Sunni and a Shiite Muslim. Well, now, because of wars in numerous countries, we of course know about that. And so I just wanted to thank you for the work that you do to spread both tolerance and understanding.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor would like to say something to you.
Just thank you, Mr. Chair. One final comment is, as someone who lives in a interfaith house, my wife and I being of different religions, and part of what we did was to learn about each other's religions, and expose our children to each other's religions and teachings. And I've seen firsthand the benefits, and Councilmember Nurse really alluded to it, but the benefits of dialogue, simple dialogue and discussions where, as we all know, being in this arena that we operate in, it's finding common ground and where we're more alike than different that brings us together. So anything that recognizes the ability to bring people together is something that I'm certainly supportive of. I know Council is supportive of, and I think really is reflective of who we are as a community. So I thank you for bringing this forward to us, and my Chief of Staff is behind, has entered in, and I thank him for his work on this also. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
If I could say a few words, I'm here to support this young man and the efforts that he's putting through in doing this. As a substitute for my wife, Jan, who actually is working very hard with Joran and others to form this interfaith community. And she's currently out at 49th Street and 12th Avenue at a UCC church building, and they're welcoming the Laotian U.S. Church Council, having their annual meeting here in St. Pete. And I've been there. Any one Sunday, that facility houses 4 different denominations. It's a UCC church that exists out there. It's on the west side of 49th Street, about 12th Avenue. So it's exciting to see these things happening. And actually, as this proclamation states, it's our city it's amazing to see what's happening with other congregations who are looking at our city, as the Laotians are currently, to make this their home base. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
And for those watching online, you can visit and see the full calendar of all the Interfaith Week panels, of which Frank Wells is going to be at the panel tonight on community service in the 21st century. That's happening at Museum of Fine Arts at 6 o'clock. Go to integralchurch.org, and the full schedule is there.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.